Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel. In today's video, look who's here, the Volvo S80. I haven't sold it yet, and there's a couple of reasons why, but I just thought I'd give you guys a general update on it, how it's getting on, etc. So obviously I've been driving my E39 5 Series now for 3 months. But in the meantime, Mrs. DL has been using this. It's been sort of for sale, but not too seriously. We've also got the smart car, the Jeep's being fixed at the moment. So it's been for sale, but Mrs. DL's also been using it. The reason for that is I just prefer her driving this from a safety point of view than the smart car. So smart cars used for little journeys, popping to the shops. We sort of call it our shopping car, which sounds a bit ridiculous, but that's essentially what it's doing. And then the S80's been her sort of more practical, longer distance driving car. So it's still here, and I think, you know, these cars, they become like an old Labrador, something that you can't bear to part with. You would never, even though they're a bit sort of there's no reason for you to keep it anymore. You always find a reason, and that, I think, is what is happening with this car. It's not going down without a fight. Now obviously it's still for sale. It's not advertised anywhere, but you know, if any of you guys wanted to get in touch, make an offer on it, it is still for sale. But it's just being used as a sort of run around. Obviously these cars, or all cars really, don't like being left undriven, and that's really why I gave Mrs. DL the keys and told her to keep driving it, because the worst thing you can do for a modern car, or well, I say modern, it's 15 years old, but a car like this is to just leave it standing. Electrical issues, all that sort of stuff start to rear their ugly head when these cars aren't used. And so we've kept this car in service, and it's doing absolutely fantastically. Touch wood, we haven't had there's been no issues with it whatsoever. Mrs. DL's enjoyed driving it. She is used to a smaller car, so the length has been interesting for her. But you know, you really can't beat these cars in terms of comfort, ease. They do everything you throw at them. So what mileage are we on now? We are on, I think, 137,741. So obviously it's only just running for a Volvo. And yeah, just the comfort of the seats. The E39 is exceptionally comfortable, but the seats are firmer. When you sit in this car, it's like sitting in your old favourite armchair. It just is so comfortable and easy. Obviously the steering's lighter than the E39, and it's been interesting to come out of the BMW, a car that was made even earlier than this, 10 years earlier than this. That car was designed. There is a difference, a big difference, and this, I think, is the best of both worlds. The P3 generation of Volvo, obviously Ford were involved, kind of, in the generation of, in the development of these cars. There's quite a lot of Ford parts, but they're at that perfect sweet spot where there's enough mod cons and comfort, and they're not going to rust, and they're reliable and easy to live with, but also you can still do stuff on them yourself. I mean, let's take a look under the engine bay and just have a look at the stuff. So let's give you a bit of context of where I'm going with this. So at work, I drive a Volvo XC90. It's the CMA, nice new generation. It was 80 to 100,000 pounds new, and we've had no end of problems with it. It's got 80,000 miles on it. It's 6 years old. It doesn't lock. There's an oil leak, and recently it had to be recovered because the exhaust manifold completely failed. No one can do anything to that car. It's an absolute nightmare to do anything on. It's going to have to go to Volvo, have the engine removed to replace the manifold, and it just, you know, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Whereas these cars, you just pull the engine cover off, you've got access to a whole host of things that you need to fiddle with. You can change the cam belts yourself. You can change the auxiliary belts yourself. Obviously, we know because I've done it. And it just, you know, there's so much easier. There's less computers. But you know, it still drives like a modern car does. And I think once you go sort of post 2018, I think was really the downfall of modern cars in terms of the way they drove. This car, you get a nice amount of feedback from the car, from the road, from your environment. The new cars, they're just completely devoid of any feeling. And I hate it. This was before cars had to stop themselves, before they could take over from you driving. They had these options, optional extras, but they weren't intrusive like they are in modern cars. Before diesel exhaust fluid, or AdBlue as it's called here in the UK. You know, this car, 205 horsepower from factory. I think this one's about 235 with the Polestar remap. You know, they're fast cars, they're powerful cars, but you don't have all of that ridiculous emissions crap. They're not that bad for the planet. You know, it's a really good sweet spot, I think, in terms of the last 20 years of cars. So I've got a bit of a passionate rant there, but yeah, it's a car that sort of, we are going to sell it ultimately, but we're not in a big rush to get rid of it. It's been fantastic, always has been fantastic, and continues to be fantastic. And I think now with these new Regor wheels that I've put on it, now we're coming into summer especially, I just think it looks great. It's a lovely car, and it always gets compliments wherever you go, especially this being an R design. Looks a little different to most S80s, and with the chrome, etc. And yeah, it's just admired. So I'm continuing to admire it, and I think we will do for a while yet. But it's just been fab. But I want to let you know that we haven't actually got rid of it yet. Obviously this has always been a Volvo channel, so I wanted to let you know we still do have the Volvo in the fleet, and that is why. But honestly, if any of you are interested, do get in touch. It's drivelifeyt@gmail.com, and let's have a chat, because I do want it to go to a good home. I'm going to be picky. I don't want anyone just to buy this and destroy it. I want it to be looked after and loved, and maybe, who knows, you know, I may even buy it back in the future. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let's do a few more videos on this while we've still got it, and I'll see you next I will see you in the next video. Cheers.